Speaker of the House Paul Ryan addressing the growing skills gap problem in America and the hindrance that companies face while trying to fill jobs today. Well, joining me here now, one man is actually doing something about the skills gap, Snap-on CEO Nick Pinchuk. Nick, thanks a lot for joining.
Great to be here, Charles.
First of all, I want to remind the audience that President Trump picked your business as one of the very first that he visited after being inaugurated. Why was that?
Well, we like to think he was recognizing the work we do for the American manufacturing and American workers. You know, I got to say, it's kind of a rush. You know, 5 helicopters in the parking lot, dozens of the Secret Service, legions of the press, hail to the chief. And the thing about it is, I have to say that the pageantry that surrounds a presidential visit is republic reaffirming. Our people were pumped by it. And the most common thing people said to me was, thank you, I really loved it.
And it's just, did you get a phone call?
Yeah, I got a phone call. The phone call of your life. You know, you're sitting in your office. Thank God a few people were in the office to hear this. And somebody comes in and says, Nick, it's the White House. Your first temptation is to say, put them on hold. I'll wait, you know, right? That's exactly the kind of thing. The other thing the president did is he said things we loved. He talked about the essential nature of manufacturing to our prosperity. And he talked about the return of the respect for the dignity of work, celebrating the importance of technical careers.
And this is something that you have been preaching, though, for a very long time.
That's right. So his message bent to ours tremendously. One of the things about this is, you see, people say the middle class is shrinking. And it is. But I say, no kidding, Sherlock, because manufacturing jobs have disappeared, have reduced. 30% have gone away in the last 20 years, and yet there are 350,000 jobs, according to the National Association of Manufacturers, going unfilled today. And the reason is we don't have the skills.
Well, let's talk about that, because you're at the forefront. You know, you and I were talking during the break. I went to your website. I looked up your educational initiative. I thought I counted 150 educational schools, colleges you're associated with, but it's a lot more than that.
It's a lot more than that. Here's the thing. One of the things there are 2 things about this skills gap that contributes to it. One is the schools, the technical schools, aren't teaching exactly what employers need. And so the idea is, I think it's incumbent on business to work with schools, business and private partnerships, or business and public partnerships, to try to call in the airstrikes. And that's what we do. We have a national coalition of certification centers that we founded, and in 347 schools around the country, there's a set of Snap-on certifications where people will know if these students have completed these certifications, they know how to do certain things.
That's just absolutely remarkable.
That's pretty great. And the other thing, though, that I think is important is that one of the things about this is, if you're a welder or a car mechanic or a worker on the line, people view you as having settled for the consolation prize of our society. You see, if I talk to any group in Washington or this city, and I say to them, how would you feel if your son or daughter told you they were going to be a welder? You could hear a pin drop in that room, because you know what they think. That's what other people's kids do.
So we allowed the elites to shy us away from these jobs, where, by the way, they're great paying jobs. They're around in abundance. We allowed the elites to make us feel bad about being hardworking men and women who may work with our hands. We allowed that as a society to happen.
I think that's true. What we allowed to happen is a redefinition of the American dream. The American dream, you know, now, today, I think most people think you've got to be a TV anchor or a CEO or a physician or a lawyer or a college president. That's never been the American dream. What's been the American dream is you have a job that will keep your family warm and safe and dry, and engenders pride and dignity in what you do. And I can assure you that there's pride and dignity and the ability to keep your family warm and safe and dry throughout the factories of this country and in the repair shops of this country. The makers and the fixers of our country is what has created the society we know today. That's an American calling, not a consolation prize.
Well, Nick, some people talk the talk, you walk the walk. I really appreciate meeting you in public. Thank you very much. In person, rather. And by the way, you've made me a lot of money over the years in your stock, too.
Thanks. Glad to hear that.
Thanks a lot.